I want to ask you a question that most men have never been asked directly. Not, are you a good partner? Because most men will say yes, as we all do, right? Most men genuinely believe that they are. And that belief isn't dishonesty, it's the gap. The question is this. If you ask the person who is closest to you, your partner, your person, the one who sees you in all the unglamorous, unperformed moments of your daily life, if you ask them to describe what it feels like to be with you, not what you do for them, not what you provide, what it actually feels like, would their answer match the one you would give about yourself? For a lot of men, the honest answer is probably not fully. And that gap between how we see ourselves as partners and how we actually are experienced is one of the most important and least discussed dimensions of relationship health. Today, we close out theme one with the hardest conversation of the arc. Not the most complicated, the most honest. This is Sana E. I'm XO. It's time to take a look in the mirror, fellas. So let's get there. Before I name what the gap looks like, I want to explain why it exists, because I think understanding it changes how you receive the rest of this episode. The gap between how men see themselves as partners and how they are experienced is not primarily about dishonesty or selfishness. It's about three things that most men were never taught to close. Number one, the first is the visibility problem. Most of the things that make someone a good partner, emotional availability, consistent presence, the small daily acts of care and acknowledgement, are largely invisible to the person doing them. You know, when you provided something tangible, you feel the weight of what you're carrying financially, professionally, logistically. But the intangible things, whether they were actually present in that conversation last Tuesday, whether your partner felt heard in a smaller moment last week, whether the emotional atmosphere in your home feels safe, those do not announce themselves, and most men are never tracking them. Number two, the second is the effort impact gap. Research on emotional work in relationships, the ongoing labor of maintaining emotional connection, consistently shows that men tend to overestimate how much of this work they are doing and underestimate how much their partner is contributing. Not because men are lazy, the because this labor was not modeled for them. It was named for them, and they have no internal reference point for calibrating it accurately. So that emotional impact, the effort impact, are you making consistent daily effort with your partner on a daily basis? Are you checking in with them? Are you seeing how their day was? Are you seeing if they need anything? Did you check if they ate today? Are you doing just the little things that's showing that you're putting in effort? And I want to unpack number one, which is the visibility problem and emotional availability, being emotionally there. I've been hearing a lot lately with some of my female friends that I've been discussing and talking to. They always refer to being emotionally available when it comes to men, because as men, you know, we rarely tap into our emotions, right? So it's understanding, how can I be emotionally available for my partner, for my woman, so that we can be on the same trajectory in life. So you may have to sit down with her, or you may have to go to therapy, or you may have to just check in and see, what does an emotional available man look like, as well as a consistent presence. Are you consistently present in her life, especially when y'all having that one-on-one conversations, and understanding it's like, okay, I got to put my phone down, put my phone away, because I'm here connecting with my woman, with my partner, whatever it may be, and being fully present in that time. And what about the small daily acts of care and acknowledgement? Are you letting her know, hey, babe, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, I love everything about you, I love everything you're doing, giving her consistent compliments? What about making sure she gets weekly flowers? Doing that. Or even when you're breaking down the small daily acts, making sure she ate, getting her some food, getting her coffee, whatever it makes to make her day better. That's a part of the job. And it's not necessarily a job, it's a part of you really being visible in that relationship. So number three, I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Let me do the research. A 2024 study on men's emotions in intimate partnership published in Science Direct found that men's drive for emotional restraint in relationships, the deeply socialized impulse to suppress and conceal emotions in close relationships, limits the depth of emotional intimacy available to their partners. The men in the study were not emotionally unavailable by choice, they were emotionally restrained by training. Their fathers did not model emotional disclosure. Their friendships did not practice it. They arrived in adult partnerships with a skill set shaped for every context except the one that required the most of them. So men were having emotional restraints instead of being, some people thinking we're emotionally available. It's still like we're still learning, because as men, we grew up, be strong, be tough, don't show your emotions, show your emotions, show that you're weak, don't cry, suck it up, internalize it. Instead of taking the time to really understand why we're feeling certain emotions. And most of us don't develop that emotional intelligence until adulthood, until we take the time to discover, why am I angry? Why does this keep happening? Why is certain patterns in my life keep reoccurring? And it's understanding like, okay, I have to learn about this so it doesn't happen or affect other people around me. The third one is the intention as behavior substitution. This is one of the most insidious ones. Many men experience their good intentions toward their partners. Well, excuse me, their care, their love, their desire to be right by the person they are with, as equivalent to the behavior that would actually express those intentions. They feel like a good partner internally, and that internal feeling registers as being a good partner. But your partner doesn't experience your intentions, they experience your behavior. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Your partner doesn't experience your intentions, they experience your behavior. What you do, when you do it, how often, with what quality of presence. Intentions are the starting point, they're not the destination. So that leads me up to segment 3. Let me name what this gap looks like in practice. And I'm going to be specific because I think specificity is what turns this from a general observation into something you can actually work with. It looks like being physically present and mentally absent. You are home, you're in the room, you're there, but by every visual metric, right? But your attention is on your phone, on the next task, on the next problem you're running through in your head. And your partner can feel that absence, not dramatically, not in the way that necessarily produces a confrontation, but as a low grade experience of being alone in the room with someone who is technically there. Over time, that experience accumulates and it registers as distance even when you never went anywhere. So it's being physically present in that physically and mentally present in that conversation. Me had a tough time with this because I would be physically present and my mind would be elsewhere. I'd be looking at different tasks, looking on the next subject, seeing what I have to do with the business instead of being present in my conversation with my woman or with the partner or with whoever is requesting my presence at that time. So it's understanding us as humans, we have to be more present. And something that helped me being more present in conversations with the person, whoever it may be, is meditating. Meditation has helped me being more present in my life and understanding that my phone, I got to put it down when I'm talking to somebody. I can't focus on the next task. I have to focus on this conversation. And doing that meditation has really helped me out over the years. I'm decades in. So with that being said, all this looks like providing without connecting. The man who works hard, who ensures the bills are paid, who takes his responsibilities seriously, that man is doing something real and something worthy. Salute. We all been doing that, right? But provision is not connection. Provision is what you do. Connection is how you are. And the partner who is fully provided for but emotionally underdeferred will eventually experience the relationship as transactional rather than intimate. The providing matters. It can't be the whole thing, though. So it looks like resolving the surface issue without addressing the emotional core. The practical problem gets solved, the decisions get made, the logistics get handled. The thing that needed doing gets done. But the feeling underneath it, the hurt, the unheard need, the thing that was actually driving the conflict never gets acknowledged. So the practical issue is resolved and the partner is still carrying something that was never addressed. And the next version of the conflict is not really about the new thing, it's about the old thing finding a new surface. So it's understanding and addressing those conflicts and making sure you address the problem at hand and not letting that problem linger over to the next conflict, the next conversation, the next argument. It's like we all heard it before, nip it in the butt right then and there instead of letting it linger. Me, I'm the type to let's kill whatever problem, conflict, whatever we have before the day ends instead of letting it carry over to the next day. Big on energy. So you carrying that energy into the next day doesn't help nobody else out. It really pushes us back. And research on relationship maintenance behaviors found that women's relationship satisfaction was significantly predicted by receiving consistent assurance, understanding positivity, and self-disclosure from their partners, accounting for 40% of satisfaction variance. Not grand gestures, not material provision alone. The everyday relational behaviors that signal, I see you, I am with you, you matter to me. These behaviors are learnable. They require intention and practice. And they are the exact behaviors most men were never shown how to deliver. Crazy, right? I know. We all been through it. We all going through it. And it's just understanding we have to see how our partners experience us and not what we think they experience. That's what it comes down to. So it looks like being available for big moments, but checked out for the small ones. Showing up for the crisis, the celebration, the thing that obviously requires you, but absent, distracted, half present, somewhere else in your head for the ordinary Tuesday when nothing significant is happening, but your partner is right there wanting to feel close to you. The big moments are easy. The small ones are where the relationship actually lives. Man, I know it's a lot. It's a lot, it's deep, it's a lot to unpack, but I think this is really helping us all out to become better partners. Whether you're a woman, listen to this, a man, listen to this, whatever it may be, I believe this helps us out in the long run. And I want to spend time on emotional labor because I think it is one of the most important and most under-recognized dimensions of what it means to be a partner. Emotional labor in a relationship is the ongoing work of maintaining emotional connection. It is remembering what matters to your partner and asking about it. It is noticing when something is off and creating space for the conversation. It is initiating repair after conflict instead of waiting for the other person to come back. It is tracking the relational temperature. Are we connected? Are we drifting? Does something need attention? And responding to what you notice. In most heterosexual relationships, research consistently shows that this work falls disproportionately on women. Not because men don't care, they often do deeply, but because most men were raised in emotional ecosystems that did not teach this skill, didn't model it, and actively discouraged it through the same mechanisms we talk about in the masculinity episode. Stay tough. Don't be too sensitive. Do not make it a whole thing. Right. The result is a partner who is doing the relational project management, tracking what needs attention, initiating the hard conversation, monitoring the emotional health of the relationship, often without full recognition that this work is happening, and often without her partner understanding what it costs her. And I'm not saying this to produce guilt. I'm saying it because awareness is the beginning of equity. And equity in a relationship is not about keeping score. It's about both people feeling seen, supported, and not alone in the work of maintaining what they have built together. Let me give y'all some research now. Research published in couples therapy literature notes clearly the emotional labor gap isn't because the one gender is lazy or uncaring. It's because boys and girls are raised in fundamentally different emotional ecosystems and then act surprised when they struggle to meet each other's needs as adults. Men who generally want to show up differently often don't know how. They were never taught. Their fathers didn't model it. Their friendships didn't practice it. This is a training gap, and training gaps can be closed. It takes work. It's going to take time. Ladies, if y'all listen to this, bear with us. You'll know a man that's trying to work and get his emotions in check to become emotionally intelligent versus one who's not. So here's a question I want you to sit with honestly. What percentage of the emotional maintenance work in your most important relationship are you actually carrying? And what percentage are you benefiting from without fully recognizing? I'll say it again because I kind of went through it kind of quick. What percentage of the relationship maintenance work in your most important relationship are you actually carrying? And what percentage are you benefiting from without fully recognizing? You don't have to answer this out loud, but answer it honestly to yourself. So we've been talking about this gap between emotions, between your partner. Let's talk about how to close it. Here's how you close the gap between your partner, let's rewind that. Here's how you close the gap between the partner you believe yourself to be and the one you are actually being. Not in theory, but in practice. Move number one, get out your pen and pad. You already know. I got some tips for y'all. Move number one, ask the real question, not are you okay? Because most people will say yes to that. Yeah, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. Ask, is there something I have been missing lately? Something you have needed from me that I have not been showing up for? And then critically listen to the answer without defending yourself. The instinct will be to explain, to justify, to contextualize, resist it, just to hear it. The information your partner gives you when they feel safe enough to answer honestly is more valuable than anything else you will get from this episode. Move number two, trade presence for productivity in small doses. Pick one moment daily. And one moment, I swear that's too fast. Pick one moment daily where you put everything down and are actually there. Not performing presence, not multitasking while appearing present, fully there. Eye contact, full attention, the phone face down, or even out of reach, out the room, whatever it may be. 10 minutes of genuine presence does more for a relationship than 2 hours of proximity while distracted. Start small, build that muscle. Number three, name the small things. One of the simplest and most underrated relational moves available to any partner is specific acknowledgement. Not a generic, thanks for everything you do. The specific. I noticed you handled that thing for our family this week, and I want you to know I see that and I appreciate it. Specificity signals attention, and attention is what most partners are actually hungry for. Not grand gestures, but evidence that you are paying attention to their actual life. And the final research for that is from Frontiers in Psychology. In 2025 found that partners' perceptions of each other's emotional regulation success, how well each person felt the other was managing their emotional responses, was directly tied to relationship quality for both partners. When a man successfully regulated his emotions in a way his partner could feel, her relationship satisfaction increased. When that regulation was perceived as absent or unsuccessful, satisfaction declined. The way you manage your own internal state is not a private matter. It is a relational act. Move number four, initiate the repair. We talked about this in the conflict episode, right? But I want to name it specifically in the context of being a better partner. The man who waits for his partner to always initiate reconciliation after a conflict is asking her to carry the repair work on top of everything else. Go first, more often, not when it's convenient, when it is needed. Make that move. Reconcile early, initiate the repair. As a man, that's what you have to do. Move number five, ask what she needs, not what you think she needs. And this one may sound simple, but it really ain't. I gotta get some water. I ain't gonna lie to you. This one sounds simple and is consistently one of the hardest. Most men try to identify the problem and fix it. And that impulse comes from care. But what a partner needs in a given moment is often not a solution. It is to be heard. It is to feel like their experience matters to you. Asking, Do you want me to help solve this, or do you just need me to listen right now? Is one of the most relational, intelligent moves available. It says, I am paying attention to you specifically, not just the problem. I know it was a lot, man. Hopefully those 5 tips, notes helped you out, because I feel like they helped me out too, because I'm just reliving my past relationships like, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. But it's all a learning experience, man. And we all here to learn. And this really helped me out for my future relationships. My future wife gonna be happy. But let's close out theme 1. Let's land this plane, ladies and gentlemen. We had 3 episodes, 1 thing. We started by understanding how you were wired to love, the attachment style formed before you had any choice in the matter. We moved into how to fight without destroying what you built, the specific skills of conflict that most men were never taught. And today, we take that long, hard look in the mirror, honestly, without softening it, at the gap between the partner you believe yourself to be and the one you actually are being. Here's what I want you to carry forward. Being a better partner is not about being a different person. It's about closing the gap between your intentions and your behavior, and making the care you feel on the inside more visible, more consistent, more specifically directed at the actual person in front of you. That isn't a small thing. In a world where most men were never taught this, where the modeling was absent, the skill set was never developed, the emotional ecosystem never required it. Choosing to learn it and practice it is an act of leadership. The kind that doesn't make headlines, the kind that changes homes. Next week, we're moving into theme number 2, fatherhood. It's gonna be a good one. Fatherhood, though, what your children actually need from you, not the providing version, the present version. That conversation starts next week. With that being said, man, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us. The day ones, shout out to y'all. Y'all been keeping us afloat. The new people, thank y'all for showing up. We are on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. If you are not on YouTube, or if everybody got YouTube these days, but go ahead and subscribe to us. Subscribe to Sanai on YouTube. We'll have everything in the show notes. Appreciate y'all. Leave a review on the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to this at. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Hopefully this episode helped y'all like it helped me out. With that being said, this is Sana I'm XO. See you next week.